Straight out the boot room to Wembley, our second home. We come to conquer, no, we never walk alone. We dominate the cream of the crop, drawing all our strength from the roar of the cock. It's all for one and one for all. Pass a move, we're talking total football. Here we go again, Roy's red machine. Liverpool, the greatest team the world has ever seen.
Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. Tough test for Liverpool at the weekend. The way Bournemouth have been playing the last few games, especially the way they dismantled Newcastle, the way they dismantled Forest. The week after, you'd be forgiven to think that we were in for a really tough game at the weekend, and it just managed it perfectly. Exactly what you would have expected from a game against a team that deserves respect, but you still should be beaten. Nice positive result in the end. Before we get on to that, just going to touch very quickly on the PSV game, because obviously haven't done one for a little while now. So it was a dead rubber. It was a weird game. You could obviously the team that we put out showed you that it was a dead rubber. Nearly sort of gave away the top position in there, but I mean it didn't really matter in the end. I don't think whether we finished first or second, but it's nice to finish first. But yeah, it was one of them games good for some of the young lads to get a proper run out like that in a bigger game than all due respect to Accrington Sally, a bigger game than that. And I thought one player in particular, James McConnell, thought he was absolutely brilliant. I think we've seen glimpses of him here and there over the last season or two, and he's always looked at a tidy little player, but getting to see him for practically 90 minutes and against a good team in PSV, I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought all the young lads done well against PSV. As you say, dead rubber, not really in it for us. No point risking big key players when we've got title deciding games coming up. The kids done well. McConnell stood out. I think the likes of Harvey Elliott and that as well, done their job, what you want them to do. Gakpo played well. So, I think they done a job, didn't get the result, but again, we weren't really fussed. If it would have cost us first place, it would have been a bit of like a bragging right, because at the minute we're sort of saying we're top of everything, because we are. That's all it would have been. That's all we would have lost. We would have lost any credibility. The result didn't bother me. Just wants to make sure we didn't get absolutely rolled. I think defensive mistakes cost us. And just being a little bit immature at times, and that was it really. I think the rest of it going forward and stuff, we were really good. So
yeah,
quite all right on the night.
Yeah, I think PSV were clinical when they did get the chances. That goal where I can't remember who scored it, but the one where he sort of sent Quansett and Robertson at the same time and then slotted it was good. But I think don't think Kelleher took his chance too well, to be honest with you. I thought, I can't remember which one it was, but he got beat quite easily at the near post for one of them. Just thought again, he's not getting many chances at the minute. He's only playing sort of these lesser games at the moment, and I think he hasn't really staked a claim. When there's been the odd question here and there for Alisson over the last few weeks, where we are conceding silly goals, I think he hasn't really staked a claim for getting a solid run of games again. I don't think, but again, it's one of them. PSV went full strength against our kids, and our kids didn't look up to play. So yeah, more than happy with the performance result. Wasn't bothered. It's weird watching it. It's like watching a friendly. You're watching it, and like you concede, and you're not asked. It's a weird feeling.
Yeah, it was. It just felt like a Nottingham game. I was zoning in and out of it, to be honest, because it just was that type of feel. But what you're saying about Kelleher, you've got to understand as well that he's not playing with our main defence, and when he did, he was spot on. He's getting played against the likes of Accrington and against the likes of PSV when we're playing a makeshift fucking left back at centre half and that. So you can see where there's going to be difficulties in leaking chances, but he should be doing better on the chances that are going on goal. But yeah, I just think, I think I've said it before, if I was him, I'd just give up, because I think for as well as he played when he was in the team, to just be replaced like that, I think it would knock you a little bit. So just part and parcel of football. Unfortunately, we've got the world's best in our team, and as good as he is, he's just not getting in it ahead of him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him, isn't it? It's like, you know, you could look at a lot of periods of time at Liverpool and the goalkeepers we've had, and you know, I think probably barring the time when we had Pepe Reina in my lifetime, certainly he'd be first choice by a country mile. It's just unfortunate that he's in the team at this moment in time when you have got the best goalkeeper in the world in front of him.
I think if we were fortunate enough to have Buffon in his prime and fucking players like that, and Alisson's in goal, they're sitting on the bench as well. And regardless of what happens, if Alisson gets injured and comes back in, whoever's took his place is getting replaced, because Alisson's the best in the world, possibly one of the best ever. So that's just the way it is, unfortunately. I said at the time, you know, I think for confidence and for the way the team's playing, there's no need to swap a goalkeeper. Just leave him in. He's doing nothing wrong. But again, in hindsight, you look at it and you go, you play your best 11. Sentiment gets put aside. If you play players on sentiment, you end up in the same, you know, little ritual that Klopp was in, where he had favourites and stuff like that. At the end of the day, Arne Slot just plays his best players, and Alisson's one of them.
Yeah. You mentioned Harvey Elliott. There's been obviously a bit of talk about him saying you know, that he wants to leave for more first team football and things like that. He's not really getting a good run out. Chiesa, another one, there's been that talk that he doesn't want to be here. But again, against PSV, I thought both of them sort of silenced that crowd. Both very lively, both involved throughout the game. Chiesa probably unlucky not to get on the score sheet himself.
Yeah, one greedy bastard though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Proper attacker. And, you know, there's going to be chances where he's good passing that, but you need a player like that who couldn't care less about anyone else. He just wants to fucking score goals and be on the end of it. And I think he's doing really well. I think more so than just the performances is the conversations he's had off the pitch as well, where he told the cameras that they're happy here, they want to be here, and they want to win for Liverpool. So that's all you want.
Yeah, I think it's always nice to hear it, isn't it? Like, you know, they're putting the press, the stories to bed straight away. But, you know, someone like Chiesa, he's going to be massive in the running. Like, where we do have games where, you know, Salah's looking a bit jaded in training, and you think, right, okay, Chiesa's not. There's worse players out there to bring on in his place, or to start in his place for 45 minutes than Chiesa. There's certainly worse out there, and I say if he can participate and contribute for the last sort of 15-20 games of the season and whatever we've got left, it's a great time.
We've just got to keep him fit, lad, because there's no doubt about it that there's an absolutely world beater in there. And again, it's not like he's in his 30s, you know what I mean? He's still a player who's not even reached his prime yet. So I think we've just got to keep him fit and utilise him as and when. But I think, you know, he's shown commitment to the team and the cause, and he's just got to learn the manager's way and stuff like that. But again, you've seen fans online, you know, the E-Reds, we call them, already writing him off and that because he's had a few injuries. But he's come in here and there, and he hasn't had a bad game yet. He's looked lively. He's looked fucking. Again, if we'd have paid 70 mil for him off another team, and he was 2 years younger, everyone would be saying, right, he's the next fucking this and he's the next that. Regardless of the injuries, regardless of the time he's spent, when he's doing them twists and turns and rolling defenders and hitting the post and getting shots off, it's lively, it's exciting to watch, and you know, they're the type of players you pay money to go and see.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. So yeah, obviously, Champions League's done for a little bit now. Our potential opponents in I think it's the last 16 we go into. So, is either PSG, Brest, Monaco, or Benfica. Realistically, the only one who would give us any issues is PSG, but over 2 legs, I'd expect us to blow them away. They're not a team who like big games. I think you've seen it when he went to St James's Park last season, and they absolutely just fucking demolished them. And I think you'd probably expect a bit of that at Anfield. It's not like, you know, they haven't got Messi there anymore. They got no Neymar. They got no Mbappe. It's not like facing PSG of a few years ago where they did have some of them names.
And with them players, you expect to beat them.
Yeah, you do, absolutely.
They're just not a proper team.
No, they're not. And no, you absolutely do expect to beat them. But I think, obviously, if they still had any of them, you're expecting a few more issues that they're going to cause you. Obviously, they can still turn up at home. Obviously, beating City the other week, which is not really much of an achievement.
Not that hard anymore, is it?
No, it's not. So yeah, I mean, it'd be a tough game. You'd expect them to get through their tie, but I think the other three, Brest, Monaco, and Benfica, again, realistically, we should be probably beating them both, all three of them, over 2 legs. They shouldn't cause us too many issues, I wouldn't have thought.
I think the way we're playing at the moment, lads, and the run we're on, I just think whoever we got, if you put us against Barca or put us against Real Madrid, I wouldn't care less. I think over 2 legs we beat everyone. That's the confidence I've got in this side. You don't know what can happen. You could have a few bad games here and there, but at this moment, it's nice to have a few lesser teams to get yourself into the quarterfinals and that. But yeah, we shouldn't be having any issues there. It'd be absolutely disheartening and disappointing if we didn't get through to the next stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So on to yesterday's game then. Like I said at the start there, the way Bournemouth have been playing, I think they were unbeaten in 11. Went to St James's Park. One of the best footballing performances I've seen this season from any team. I thought they were absolutely magnificent there. And then, going and putting 5 past Forest, who, we've just turned around and put 7 past Brighton yesterday, which was crazy. But for us to go there and do I think they call it, it normally gets said this a very professional job that we done against them. Weathered the bitter storm that they did give us, but I don't think the result was ever really in doubt.
Yeah, I was a bit far-fetched and a bit over the top in me thinking, because I was looking at the stats, looking at their performances of late. The results they beat or drew with the top 8, nearly all of them, barring us. And I was panicky because obviously the game today with City and Arsenal, and I thought it would have been a great opportunity for us to practically put one hand on the trophy. So I thought City would have done us a favour, but that wasn't to be. But yeah, we had to win. We had to beat Bournemouth. We said the other day, we had to win our next 3 games, and we've gone and done that. There's 9 points out of 9. Oh no, sorry, it was 7, weren't it? To do with Forest. So we ended up at 7 out of 9. We had to beat Ipswich, we had to beat Brentford, we had to beat Bournemouth. So we've gone and done that now. So I'm happy with the way we're performing. But that felt like a cup final yesterday. I felt sick going into the game. The fact that it was 3 o'clock and you're waiting on fucking fire sticks to watch it and that, buffering, you fucking don't know what's happening. You're checking your phone for every little beat just in case you have scored, or they've scored. So it was horrible. But yeah, I thought we were very professional. They had a little 5-minute stint where they looked a bit dangerous, but I think we were in complete control. When they had the ball, it was because we let them have it. When they showed the highlights, you'd swear they absolutely battered us, but they couldn't have been further from the truth. They had a few decent chances. I think Alisson's made 1 top save, and that's it really. I think it was majority all Liverpool. It was a matter of time before we scored. I think the goal we scored first, I've watched that incident over and over and over and over again, and only the very last time I watched it could I see any contact. So I was saying to my dad, if that would have went against us, I'd have fucking kicked off. But then I've seen the other angle, and it was Andy Gray who was showing it, and he shows that it's like his calf, it's Gakpo's boot, and clips him, which makes him kick himself. I just couldn't see it. I couldn't see it for the life of me, but I've seen it. It's a penalty, a stonewall penalty.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I seen the angle from behind, I could tell it was a pen. I think it was probably a bit soft, but it's a pen. The fact that the Bournemouth player doesn't appeal it or nothing. I think there's even a clip of him saying to a teammate, "It's a foul." Like, that tells you everything you need to know about it. Yeah, it was a penalty. It's not intentional, but that doesn't matter. Like, people seem to forget that. People always go, "He doesn't mean it," and he hasn't clipped him. And the fact that everyone's trying to say it's not a penalty because it's soft means that, well, it's a soft penalty doesn't mean it's not a penalty. Like, it's no one saying it's not a penalty. They're saying Yeah, but no one's saying it's not a penalty. They're saying it's a soft penalty, so it's a penalty.
Like if Gakpo would have shot and then he clipped him, I'd say no penalty because obviously the ball's already gone and it's not a foul in this. It's a foul because he stopped him from shooting. You know what I mean? He stopped him from taking that shot on, and you know that's on the volley. It's a great position to be in, to whack it as hard as he can hit the ball as well. So yeah, it was a nailed on penalty in the end, but it took me fucking ages to figure it out. But it wasn't harsh. Like it's one of them. You want to be winning games for the right reason, don't you? And obviously it didn't matter in the end because Salah's a fucking genius, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean that second goal. I mean, to be fair, his penalty. I mean, he's always a bit hit and miss on penalties, isn't he? Like one time he'll take a great penalty, the next he'll fucking sky it. But that penalty was as perfect as it can be, right in the bottom corner. Keeper absolutely no chance. Like
Them
exactly what.
I fucking hate that run up, lad. He looks like he doesn't know where he's going until he just hits it. There's like,
yeah, I know what you mean. Like
someone put on Twitter, like, for a player who scores as many as him, like how unorthodox his penalties are, and you're just like, it just looks awkward, doesn't it? You'd swear it was like left foot as well. You never trust a left footer on a pen. Looks horrible. I'm just going to apologise just in case it's my end, but there's a beeping coming through my screen, and I know you can't hear it, but if the listeners can, then it's probably my fault. So sorry, but I can hear it and you can't, so something's beeping, and it's not the oven, and we're not in hospital, so don't know what it is.
Not the oven, we're not in hospital.
Might just be in my head.
Let's hope it's just in Jay's and only you can hear it. I mean that second goal, but as I say though, absolute genius. He's one of them players, isn't he? You know exactly what he's going to do, but it's impossible to stop him. And I mean, giving him that much space is asking for trouble anyway. But I thought in the build up to the goal, Curtis Jones, who I thought was very good when he come on, was absolutely brilliant in the build up to that. Started it, played the ball out to Salah. It was a great goal all round and very, very much deserved.
Yeah, Jones was brilliant, lads, and I want to take my hat off to Tom Sobersley because that cunt didn't stop running. He just didn't stop all game. He looks like Freddie Mercury when he was dying as well, and it just looks mad. He looks ill. I don't know what, just lost all his colour, and he's just drained of life, but what a fucking player. He's incredible. I absolutely loved his performance. Andy Robbo as well. He didn't stop running. He was fucking everywhere. His passing was on point. He played a lot better. He was positionally better. And again, I've said, I know it's only one game there. He's played really well, but he does take time to come back after he's had a bit of a stumble. And hopefully, again, if he can keep that form up, then there's no issues with the left back. But he was fantastic. Like.
Yeah. You don't get anecdotes like that anywhere else, by the way, do you? It looks like Freddie Mercury when he was dying. I tell you right now, you won't get that on Redmen or the Anfield Rap. You'd only get that here. No, but so it was a bit weird with Subs, because I've seen a lot of people say that he had a great game. Like all the commentators were raving about him, everyone pundits and that were raving about him, and then my stream completely just failed on me. Like I was working, and I got the first 10 minutes of it. And then it just died on me and never came back on. So I didn't watch it until I seen the highlights on Match of the Day. But then I've seen a few people as well say he just wasn't really involved in the game. But it must be wrong because I've seen more people say that he had a good game. So I'm assuming that was the case.
That's the thing with people who don't really grasp footy. And I've said it to you about the likes of Wijnaldum and that, where they only judge assists and passes and stuff. And they're not watching what he does off the ball, the amount of times he split them to make them make a mistake, or he's fucking pressing them and chasing them into their own box, winning the ball back for us. I just think he was absolutely brilliant, absolutely faultless at times. He should have scored as well. He's doing that box-to-box role even more. I think we all said, didn't we, McAllister's going to be the one we want to be playing in the number 10 role, but it seems to be Sobersley now. He's like the number 8. But he's the edge of their box, the edge of our box. He's fucking everywhere. And he's just got an engine on him. And I fucking just hope he keeps improving, mate, because we are seeing signs now of that player we want to see. He's been brilliant this season. The odd game where he does, his energy tops a little bit and he's not involved. But again, that could be down to what we can't see because he's just fucking everywhere. Thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's as every game passes now, that summer window from last season where we brought the 4 midfielders in is looking like an all-timer. Like it took them all a while to get up to speed. Obviously, Szoboszlai started like a house on fire and then dropped off. McAllister's been consistent throughout. I think Gravenberch wasn't really getting a proper chance last season. Endo, I think, was mine and your player of the season last season. We were in love with him. But like this season, yeah, same. But I mean, this season you're seeing them all properly, and I think you've touched on it before. We don't really play with a number 6 now, but they've all them 3 who start every game have very clearly got the roles. I think Gravenberch's the one who's going to sort of play the 6 role, if you like, sit in front of the defence, clean up, win the ball. The way he receives the ball on the turn is just majestic. He's just an absolute fucking wonderful footballer to watch. Szoboszlai is the one who's going to be everywhere and play a bit higher up, and then I think McAllister's the one who's happy to just sit in between them and sort of dictate play. I think they all complement each other so well.
Yeah, again, you've got like Gravenberch, who's great at dribbling and that, but his first point of call is to give the ball to Maka and to play the pass in behind or whatever, and Szoboszlai's just fucking chasing whatever's moving. So, I think it's just working. They all complement each other brilliantly. Even Endo, he's not in the team as much as he'd like to be, but he's like a stopgap when we need to shore the game up, when we need to get points on the board and we're struggling defensively, you can rely on him to come on and help you. So again, he knows he's not a starting player, but he's happy to be that player who comes in and helps out because that's a bigger part of the team as well.
I said yesterday that the game felt like I had Villa vibes from when we won the league that season. Not in terms of how we've won the game, just in terms of a sensed belief amongst even everyone online, that away end, even just in myself, I got a proper sense of belief about it all, and I think I got the same feeling with that Villa game that season.
Well, I felt that when Núñez scored his double at Brentford. When Núñez done that was my Villa game, but this felt big in the sense that I thought results would go different. So I thought we had to win our game. And again, what's happened with Arsenal City today is basically just they've gone back 6 points behind us. So we had to win our game. If we keep winning our games, then we've got no issues. So the big fucking celebrations from Arsenal fans and the pundits and the commentary that Arsenal are back in this title race, they were never out of it. But it's in our hands, you know what I mean? We haven't said we've won it. We haven't said we're going to win it. We've got a fucking great chance, a better chance than anyone. And I think the celebrating from them again is over the top and premeditated. I think it's just a bit premature and stupid, to be honest. But we had to win our game. It was nerve-wracking. It was like a cup final for me. As you say, for you, it feels like that Villa game where that was the one that got you over the line. Doesn't quite feel like that to me because of the other results. But I think I said myself in the next 4 games now. Well, from the next 4 games, we've got to get at least 9 points. I think they drop points at some point as well. Hopefully, we go into this week with the cup game and hopefully they can take a beating there and don't have a final to look forward to, and we can do the opposite and get ourselves in a cup final, because momentum building, having yourself a cup final in February and that is just the things you want. Yeah,
no, it's a great building block. There was, I think, probably a couple of other little contentious things in the game as well, so we'll touch on them quickly. So people are saying Van Dijk sort of left an arm in a bit on one of the Bournemouth players. He got a yellow card for it. I've seen the odd person online say should have been more, because he apparently got him in the face. It didn't look like his face to me. I've only seen 1 or 2 angles of it, to be fair. But yeah, I think it's just one of them. He's let him know he's there, left a bit on him a bit, and probably, just about doesn't quite cross over into being a red, I don't think.
The Andy Gordon one was worse. That's all I'll say. There was no ball to be won. He went for the ball, went in for the tackle, elbowed him. Did catch him. Bit rash from Van Dijk. I think he had he had probably one of his worst games of the season in terms of what his decision making and his timing. But never really put us under any pressure. No, it was a yellow card. If he'd got any more, I'd have fucking hit the roof. So,
yeah.
I didn't even.
And then the only other thing was really McAllister. Do you think he was lucky to not get sent off for 2 yellows?
I'm trying to think of the situation. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Because when he kicks him,
Mm.
I was saying to my dad, he's already. My dad thought he'd just been booked. I said he has before. He's already on a yellow card. He was like, no, he's only just booked him for that. I said he hasn't booked him for that. If he books him for that, he's gone. So we were, because again, our fucking steam was like up and down. So yeah, I thought it was a red card. I thought he should have went. I thought it was, but that's why he got took off. And you ride your luck. Then you don't want to see, like, if you making 2 tackles, that's where I say common sense comes in. Like, I know it's 2 fouls, but there's different types of fouls. If he's doing that on purpose to stop him, like counter-attacking and that, he's just gone for the ball. I think that's what the commentator was saying. You can see he's physically looking at the ball, doesn't really know that player's coming in, swings his foot, hits him. If you're going to send him off for that, it might be a little bit harsh, but again, I think he needs to have a bit more awareness about McAllister. He does that thing where he seems to play without looking a lot of the time as well, especially when he's got like the back to their goal and he's receiving the ball on the edge of our box. He seems to not have great awareness about him. So I think he needs to switch on a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it kind of falls under the same category as the Bergvall one against us the other week in the first leg, where the first yellow card he's got probably wasn't a yellow card, and the referees sort of half made up for it by not giving him the second yellow. Which, again, and I'll say it the same thing I said about that. Like, the fact that he got the first one wrong shouldn't come into it. I don't think for the second one, if he's on a yellow, whether he wanted to do it or not, and he makes another yellow card challenge, he should get the second yellow. So I say the same with that, and I do believe he was lucky to stay on the pitch. But I think the amount of, especially last season, like the amount of stupid red cards we got that weren't red cards, I think we kind of were owed one. So I'll take it. So yeah, City, Arsenal, just like you said, didn't go how we wanted it to. City were absolutely woeful. We delayed doing this to hopefully have a bit more fucking, excitement and enthusiasm about us because we were waiting for that result, and then City go and get absolutely fucking spanked. It was just pathetic from City. They were terrible. I said on Twitter before, like, you can't rule City out, but I think that's them. I think you can now. I think that's them done completely.
City is done, lad. I think Guardiola might even see the end of the fucking season if he carries on. But again, I said to you before, they'll turn up and turn up like the best version of themselves when they play us. But I don't even think that'll be enough at the moment. They're just not good enough. But I'm a fickle cunt because I wanted a draw all week and then we won. And then I was like, I hope City absolutely obliterate them because I fucking can't stand Arsenal. The carry on out of them just knocks me sick. The way they sing a with the chest out like it's theirs just makes me fucking balk. It's vile. A song about being European champions, and they've changed it. It's because they're never being European champions. It's just embarrassing as well. So yeah, I just can't stand Arsenal. Can't stand the arrogance of the players, the manager, the fans. For a team that's won next to fucking nothing, they need to be humble. And this shout of "be humble," to Haaland and that, the cunt's won everything already. He's about 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they need to be humble because they're being over the top and they've won nothing again. And it could come to the end of the season and they win nothing. And all this fucking carry on will be for absolutely nothing. They just look stupid. And then you'll have Arsenal fan TV telling them everyone they want the manager out and they want every player out and they want Havertz out. And you're just like, what the make your minds up, you fucking bunch of cunts. But yeah, I wanted City to swat them, and then once it was like 3-1, I thought, fuck, I hope you blitz them now. I hope you've got to win. You've got 3 points. Go and bury them. So it was nice to see City proper struggle. I just wish it weren't in a game where we needed them to win. I've never celebrated a man's goal in my life, and I jumped up for the Haaland goal, the big cock. And before I fucking finished celebrating, lad, it was 2-1.
I know. It was just, it was one of them. He had one actual chance and took it. The team around him was shite. But as you know, it's been pointed out a number of times, if he's not, you know, when he's not involved in the game, if he's having a bad game, he has like the worst game possible. And it showed today, regardless of his goal. Yeah, Arsenal better than them from minute one. Wanted it more. I don't know. It felt like they conceded the league and the game before the game even kicked off. Just didn't have any confidence in them at all. It is what it is. Like you said, we've got to do our job. Just carry on as we are. As long as we carry on winning, you know, then nothing stops us.
Looking around that pitch, lad, looking at Man City, the way Arsenal set themselves up, you know, the James on the counter attack. You expect you're used to seeing like City zipping the ball around, one touch passing and getting in behind. They played like when we used to struggle against the likes of your Burnleys and that, where we just couldn't get behind, and we sort of just accepted that we weren't going to get in behind. So you'd start shooting from far, and you just sort of gave up in the middle of the park. You just have the possession, but do nothing with it. And I was watching them thinking, fucking hell, these are done, aren't you? These are absolutely finished. And it was frustrating because, you know, we've fucking been at our best when they've been at their best. I just hope we can fucking go on and win, lads. But yeah, we've got to win our games. You know, we've got to look at that Arsenal performance. Who weren't that good. You know, they conceded a few chances themselves. They weren't that good on the day. I think they had more gears to go through, to be honest. But they weren't that good either. So, looking at that result, I think the conversation with Liverpool's got to be, we've got to go and do the same to Man City. We've got to do the same to them. We've got to show them up and seek them like little bitches, because that's what they are now. They're absolutely finished. All being well, it's for the long term, because if the result comes that we want in court, then they will be done, and there'll be stupid players like Haaland who was signed there for 9 years. So they're like the panic buying the players they brought in. You know, one's been dropped already. That Marmoush looks absolutely dog shit. Looks like he's won a competition to play footy. He looks fucking crap. But again, that can turn around and bite you on the arse. But they just look finished, lads. They look mentally and physically finished, and I think that's exactly why Jurgen Klopp left when he did, because he didn't want the same thing to happen under us, because he was done. And you know, it all stems from the top. When your manager feels like he's done, your players feel the same. So they've got to rebuild on the cards. Again, credit to Arsenal, because I didn't think they'd have the mentality to roll City the way they did. I didn't think they'd have it in them. They just seem so fucking weak and spineless, where they always fall apart. But no, they showed up, they turned up, they deserve to win. But they still knocked me sick. So hopefully we can just fucking edge them to the title and be happy.
Yeah.
Can't stand them.
Yeah.
Fucking can't stand them.
No, I can't. It's like I was thinking about it today, and like before the game, and I just thought to myself, I hate that Arsenal fans have made me want City to win. Like, go back a few years, and like I would have been desperate for Arsenal to win regardless. And like now, I can't stand them. The fans are just the worst, and it's Arteta as well. Though he's not a likable person. I don't think he just comes across arrogant for having won one trophy in his entire life. Like, not even in his managerial career, in his life. Like, just he's shit. Well, I mean, you might have won a couple of FA Cups as a player, to be fair.
It's from top to bottom, though, lad. You've got him, you've got the arrogance of him and the shit he says and the excuses he has and all that. And that's fair enough. Managers they'll fucking switch anything to defend the players and that. But when you've got like that kid who scored during the Haaland celebration in a game that doesn't really make a fucking blind bit of difference. Do you know what I mean? If that was against us, and you know they went fucking within so many points behind us and they beat us, you go, yeah, fair enough, be a bit over the top excited. That's a big, massive game towards the title race, but that doesn't really define anything. That seemed to me was a game they were expecting to fucking lose, and they've won, and they're celebrating like it's a big, massive bonus that they weren't expecting. It looks tiresome and small, but there's the celebrations, the reactions from like Gabriel and that centre half, the arrogance from them, they're just all pricks. Just can't stand on them.
To be fair, the only one who doesn't come across like that, I think, is Saliba. Who's, you know, I think he doesn't really get involved in any of that. With, you know, the way Gabriel's in Haaland's face and all that. Like, it's never Saliba. It's just, yeah, he's the only one who seems sort of half down to earth. But yeah, the celebration with that Lewis Skelly after he scored, great goal, fair play to him. But like that's exactly why Haaland was saying, be humble, because they've done nothing. They've won absolutely nothing. Declan Rice has won more with West Ham than he has with Arsenal. Like they've done nothing. That's why he said be humble, and you've just proved his point. So yeah, I hope I hope they fall away massively. But like I say, just got to do our job. Speaking of our jobs, moving on to talk about us again. Thursday, it's a big game, obviously, second leg semi-final behind. Based on Tottenham's performances, not including today, in fairness, because he didn't look too bad today, but I think based on their recent performances, I said that at the time, if we don't put 4 past them, I'm considering it a loss.
Now, do you know what, lad? It depends what Tottenham turn up, because when they get going and they break you down and get in behind, they're fucking hard to play against, but they're just, they seem to like be the cause of their own downfall. They're defensively shite. They're like Man City today. They just make mistakes. They just give the ball away in stupid areas. But again, you know, when we're attacking full throttle because we're behind, they are good at getting in behind you. So it's going to be an entertaining game. You know, I'd take fucking 2-0 right now. All we've got to do is score 1. We're back in the tie. So it's I really, really want to be in that cup final. I want to be going to Wembley. I want the fans to get the trip, and you know, I think it's a builder for hopefully a fucking magnificent season we're about to have. But yeah, it's a massive game. We can't take it for granted. I don't think we can just expect to turn up and swap them, because you know we see in the first leg we've got to turn up for more than like fucking half an hour in some games. We can't just play in second gear all the time and expect to get them goals. So we've got to go full throttle. We've got to go at them. The Anfield crowd can't see it as a little poxy cup semi-final. It's got to be up there. It's got to be big. You know, there's room there to make a fucking special occasion. So let's go and do it. Hope he goes full strength. We're playing Plymouth the weekend, so go full strength. Rest at the weekend. Play your kids. Play a few reserve players, and then rest for the derby. It's just all coming so quick and fast, lad. But you could go from literally, you know, with 6 points top of the table, we're in the cups, or you could be we go out of both cups and we're playing a derby, which is our game in hand. So it can all change so fast. I'm very confident that we will end up in a cup final and we'll go past Plymouth, and then the derby will speak for itself. We'll talk about that at a later date. But yeah, if we can get to the derby where, you know, we've got our pairs went out of 3 like we wanted. If we can beat Tottenham, beat Plymouth, be in the hat of both cups, it's happy days.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I know I said that season is a loss, but like you said, it depends what Tottenham turns up. I think if the one that we've seen, if the one that turned up against us at White Hart Lane in the league turns up, then I think, you know, it's a quite easy route through. But yeah, I think, like you said, go full strength, rest players against Plymouth. Still enough to win the game, but obviously lesser opponents. And then yeah, the derby is the big one. You know, they're going into it in form, which you didn't see 4 weeks ago. Let's be honest. So David Moyes, credit where it's due, and obviously we'll talk about this at a later date, as you say. But credit where it's due. He's got them firing a little bit at the minute. So yeah, the game's going to be. It's never an easy game against them, but it's harder than I thought it was going to be, say 3 or 4 weeks ago. So
do you know what I always think is in the past when Moyes was there as well, and we were like either in a fucking competitive stage of our season, or where we were playing shite and they were on the up, you used to get all the back chat off the Blues, and you know, it used to be a bit nervy. And I've had text messages off Evertonians already, excited again, and they found a pulse in the bodies again. They believe that they're not as bad as they have been, and you know, that's good for us going into a derby where there's a little bit of bite and a little bit of banter. But I always just think, leave them to hang themselves, because they'll talk all the shit and they'll get their hopes up again, and then we always pounce when they don't expect it. So, you know, they'll want to really hurt us in that derby. And it'll be, if we let them into the game, it's our own fault, because we're well better than them. So we've just got to go there and play our game and fucking, again, you know, a point away to Everton. Not the end of the world. It's a derby. I know where they are in the league. You should be saying smash them everywhere, but footy doesn't work like that. It's going to be, the atmosphere is going to be electric. The sounds of the wood for the last time, rocking, you know. It's going to be a mad occasion, and just hopefully it's, you know, it's our last time at Goodison. Hopefully we can end on a high and make it the pit of misery it's always been.
Pit of misery, yeah, fucking hell. As I say, we will do an episode sort of closer to it to just talk about the derby in depth, so don't expect much here. But yeah, like I say, busy period. Transfer window shuts tomorrow, so obviously we can expect to not be involved. They might surprise us, you never know. But yeah, I'm not too fussed at the minute. No point upsetting any players by bringing in a potential, you know, replacement. It never looks good if you're top of the league and then you bring in someone in who people consider to be a starter, and then, you know, you've got who is starting at the minute. You know, there's obviously, I think probably Andy Robertson's the one at the minute. You know, imagine that conversation. You bring in Kirkers in this window, and then he's like, hang on a minute, fuck you, what are you playing at? Where does that leave me? Like, just there's no point derailing something like that. If there's a good deal to be done and it's going to benefit the team in terms of a squad player at the moment, by all means, I hope we fucking go and do it. But you know, this is what I've been saying about us. It's like people are criticising Richard Hughes, and don't get me wrong, I don't think he's done a good job since he's been here. But at the same time, he's getting praised for the job he done at Bournemouth because of how well they're doing now. And you know what people are failing to realise is the pool of players that can improve Bournemouth and the pool of players that can improve Liverpool are massively different in size. Like, we have a very minute pool of players that can come in and improve us mid-season, in my opinion anyway. So yeah, like I say, if, as they've always said, if there's a deal there to be done, then they'll do it. But if they don't feel there's one to be done, why you're top of the league, 6 points clear, potentially 9 by the time anyone else plays, you know, is it really that big of a deal at the minute?
I agree, lad. Yeah, I think we always do things a bit more shrewd than the others. There's not much panic buying. You know, we go out and we wait for the right player. We've done it before. We've been linked to players. We've discussed players. We've spoke to players. Hasn't quite worked out as and when we wanted them, and then we go and get them later. And you know, I'm not desperate for anyone. Said with the injury list we've got, but now you've got Joe Gomez is back, so Kanate's back. Van Dijk's been fine. Quanta's in the squad and doing all right. So you've got your 4 centre halves back. That's fine. If we could have got a proper number 9, who are you going to get? That's going to get 10 goals between now and the end of the season for Liverpool. Not many available. I know on FIFA and Championship Manager and that you just go and get Isaac and stuff like that, but it's not real life, unfortunately. And I agree with you as well. Why go and rock a ship that doesn't need rocking? Obviously, if we were leaking goals every single week because of individual players and we were absolutely desperate to plug that gap and fill that void, you know what I mean? Go and do it. Robbo isn't in that position at the minute. I've said all along, between him and Tsimikas, rotate them till the summer, and then you're going to have to make a decision. I think you could end up losing both of them because there's, you know, Robbo. I think Robbo would be quite happy being the Milner and not playing as often as he'd like, and being the dad of the group, you know, being one of the older players with experience. That's vital. You know, if he's willing to accept a contract where that's in his contract, then he's earned that at the very least. I think Tsimikas got to ask himself, you know, can I be a number 2 for the rest of my career, or do I want to go and start somewhere? I think Tsimikas starts in the bottom 10 of the league for every single team, maybe up to top, like, say, fucking top 8, top 6 maybe, up until then. So yeah, he's a really good player. Again, sentiments, I really like the lad. I think he's fucking brilliant for the group. And I don't like to see players like that be replaced, but in the dog-eat-dog world, you've got to go and get players who are going to play every week and bolster your squad. So again, I've never had an issue with having three players in a position. You know, there's only one can start. You've got one for cup matches and you've got one trying to make the team and knock the other 2 out. So if they want to bring them in and someone on them both stay, I'd be happy with that as well. don't think you can have too big a squad if the players who are being replaced are happy with being around the squad. So, yeah, you just got to see what happens. Deadlines there, I used to take it off work. I used to fucking not go to work and just sit there. And I've wasted like the last 5 years of my life. So, I'll be in work. Absolutely pointless deadlines at Liverpool. It's never exciting. Even if you brought someone in, it's not going to be someone of the ilk to proper excite you. So, it's just one of them. Your phone will flash. Oh, you've signed fucking Stephen Corker, something like that to play up front for the game. Yeah, don't rock the ship.
Bring him back, yeah.
What?
That's it. Say, bring him back, Stephen Corker. Yeah, he can do a job. Proper number 9, target man. Look, we are going to leave it there for today. Shorter than normal. So, apologise to anybody who does like the fucking stupidly long episodes. But yeah, going to leave it there for today. As I say, we're going to be back probably if we can get one in between the Tottenham and Plymouth games. Might be a bit hard, but we'll try. If not, then certainly back end of the week, early next week, in time for the derby. We will be back. So as always, if you're watching on YouTube, please do subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, I don't even know how many these days, but wherever you're listening to us, please drop us a rating on there. Make sure you're subscribing to us. Make sure you never miss an episode. And yeah, we're flying. So it's all happy days, regardless of the results around us. Just keep doing what we're doing. And as the Anfield Rap keeps saying, there's a league title to be won. So until next time, up the fucking Reds.
Yeah, up the Reds. Bye. Up the Reds. See you in a bit.